Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something maybe a bit overlooked. Cyber Physical System Security, CPS.
Yeah, it's that, the bridge between the digital stuff and the actual physical world around us.
Yeah.
Crucial connection.
Exactly. And we're diving into why you, listening, should probably care. Because when these systems fail, it's not just like lost data.
Oh, definitely not. The consequences spill out. Very real, sometimes very messy physical world consequences. It hits home, business, community, maybe even your own safety.
So to really get into it, we looked at a few things. There's a blog post on CPS security generally, and then an article from the Register, this one's kind of wild, about a massive sewage plume in Moscow.
Right. Heard about that one. Skyscraper high, apparently.
Yeah, and another piece from Industrial Cybersecurity Pulse, looking back at a, similar sewage incident, but in Australia years ago.
So the mission today is figuring out what these, let's say, vivid examples tell us about the actual tangible risks if CPS security isn't up to scratch.
Let's jump right into Moscow then. That image? A skyscraper-high fountain of sewage. Yikes.
It's pretty dramatic, isn't it? Now, there was talk, speculation about hackers maybe being involved, Ukrainian hackers specifically.
Right, but the official story was different?
Yeah, the officials said it was a gas release during some repair work. But honestly, whether it was hackers or an accident.
The point is the system failed.
Exactly. A system controlling physical infrastructure failed, and boom, huge, very public physical mess. The immediate real-world impact is, well, undeniable there.
And that's what the blog post was getting at, too. Moscow isn't just some weird one-off.
No, not at all. Any organization using these systems is vulnerable to way more than just, getting their data stolen.
Like, what are we talking about?
Well, think about mass transit grinding to a halt, power grids going down, water contamination. That's a scary one.
Or even just getting locked out of your own building because the access system is compromised.
Right. It really makes you pause and think.
Yeah.
Okay, in my world, my job, my commute, what's the physical worst-case scenario if a connected system goes haywire?
And historically, we've seen this play out. You mentioned the Australia incident earlier.
Yeah, Maroochy Shire back in 2001. That was an insider, actually. Released something like 265,000 gallons of raw sewage.
250,000 gallons? Wow.
Yep. And some of it apparently ended up on the grounds of a hotel. So even relatively simple cyber actions can have pretty nasty physical results.
And there were more recent ones too, right?
Oh, yeah. There were those suspected Iranian attacks on Israeli water systems in 2020. Same year, BART, the transit system in the Bay Area, had a ransomware attack that apparently led to an accidental sewage release.
Accidental, but still a physical consequence.
Still sewage, yeah. And then maybe the most chilling one recently, Oldsmar, Florida, 2021. Someone tried to poison the water supply.
How?
By remotely jacking up the levels of sodium hydroxide. Lie, basically.
Yeah.
Luckily, an operator caught it.
Okay, that is genuinely terrifying. So it really feels like organizations have a pretty stark choice here.
It does, doesn't it? The blog post puts it kind of bluntly, but accurately, I think. You either invest properly in securing these CPS systems,
or you risk, well, let's just say some very unpleasant stuff raining down. Literally, in some cases we just discussed.
Yeah. And it's not just inconvenience. It's business continuity, it's safety risks, it's your reputation getting trashed, huge financial hits potentially.
The blog post also mentioned a survey, didn't it, about how companies are doing with this?
It did, and it was interesting. Apparently, most companies say they have CPS security plans, which sounds good, right?
Yeah, sounds proactive.
But over 65% aren't actually seeing good results from those plans. And fully half, think it's their weakest security link.
So having a plan on paper isn't enough. Why wouldn't they work?
Well, the post hinted that maybe the plans aren't tested enough, or the incident response isn't robust. It's not just writing a document. It has to be a live, tested, ready.
Which I guess leads to things like, well, the blog mentioned Viaku as one type of solution for companies maybe just starting to grapple with this.
Right. Tools like that are about finding the vulnerabilities before they get exploited, before, your toilets stop flushing or worse.
Being proactive, not just cleaning up the mess afterwards.
Precisely. So I think the key thing to remember from all this is that CPS failures aren't just abstract tech problems.
No, they hit the real world hard.
Yeah, tangible consequences. Sewage, potentially poisoned water, blackouts.
Right.
The examples show the range and just how severe it can get. Public health, critical infrastructure, it's all tied in.
Absolutely. Which leaves us with a final thought for everyone listening. Given these examples, what crucial cyber-physical systems are part of your life? your commute, your workplace, your town. And could they be maybe a bit more vulnerable than you realized? Just think about those hidden digital layers controlling the physical things we rely on every day.
Definitely something to mull over. Until next time.